nothing men hate more than a woman who mirrors their behavior. For example, when all a man cares about is money, well, he's just a good businessman. When all a woman cares about is money, she's a gold digger. When a woman uses a man's like time, energy, etc. to come up in the world, well, she is a monkey brancher. I don't know, that just to me looks like a man who uses his wife's like unseen labor at home to propel himself up the career ladder. To be known as a career and family man when the wife is really the one behind the scenes doing all of the work for that to happen. But yeah, God forbid a woman play her cards right and end up rich on the back of a man. That was her plan all along. Then there's, of course, the selfish woman, right? Like, if you look up selfish woman on the internet, just gives you typical male behavior as identifiers for a selfish woman. For example, like, she'll mostly talk about herself. She puts her needs above the needs of others. She makes decisions without considering the people around her. She struggles with empathy. She will rarely compromise, rarely express genuine gratitude or emotions. Those are just behaviors we normalize in men, but God forbid a woman be selfish, aka exhibit typical male behavior, like talk about herself more or be hesitant to compromise like around every corner. Just very interesting to me that we as a society, but men especially, laser focus in on this kind of behavior, but only when women do it. When men do it, it's okay. We actually find justifications for it. Men have like an irrational hatred for child-free women. We also have this as a society. Other women also hate women for this. It's like no man has ever had a child come through his body. There's nothing really wrong with that inherently. We just hate it when women don't do it. Even if a man like decides not to have kids, we're like, that's cool, man, you don't have to have kids. But God forbid a woman decide not to have kids and like tell other people about it, then it's like, well, are you sure? Well, isn't that selfish? We don't grill men like that. That's pretty crazy. There's, of course, the spinster, aka a career-oriented woman who doesn't necessarily want to settle down or doesn't necessarily feel like she needs to be in a relationship in order to be fulfilled and happy. Maybe she is working because she never wants to be in a relationship, never wants to depend on any. Well, we blame those women for the falling marriage and childbirth rates. We hate that as a society. If you as a woman ever feel like there's a lot of burden on you, that's because there is. This is how we put that burden on women in society to do the things that men are unwilling to do. And that's why they hate you for it when you mirror these norms back to them, when you break out of the norms that were assigned to you as a woman. Right? When all you're really doing is just mirroring back to men and back to society things that have been made acceptable for men to do without any scrutiny or criticism. That's why there's that women in male fields trend. It's because there's nothing men hate more than, you know, a cheating woman, a lying woman, a woman who abandons her family, a woman who goes to college, a woman who has a job. And all of these things are typically associated with men. And men protect other men. Well, he cheated because, you know, he cheated because she let herself go, or because she wasn't having sex with him, or like whatever. We make up all of these endless excuses, but God forbid a woman cheats, she's automatically a monster. There's no excuse for cheating. God forbid a woman abandons her family and runs off to start a brand new life somewhere. Oh my gosh. But when a man does it, that we make jokes about it. Oh, he went out for a carton of cigarettes and never came back. Oh, he went out for milk and never came back. That's like a joke. All of this really just means that women are constantly picking up society's slack. I mean, even consider how people have responded to that newest Gen Z poll, where women said that having kids and getting married is the least important thing to them. Men used to act like marriage and children were a trap. Men used to act like it was a burden and a ball and chain and all that. Nobody blinked twice. They were like, well, how do you get a man to settle down? What are we gonna do about that? Women need to step their game up, etc. Now that women are mirroring that back and saying the same thing, they're like, no, it's a trap and we don't want to be trapped. We don't want the marriage. We don't want the children. Everyone is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say that? Another thing we really hate is when a woman is like well supported by her husband. Anytime somebody posts a video of like, my husband did this for me, my husband cooks dinner, my husband takes care of the kids, everyone is like, well, what do you bring to the table? Well, what do you do? A lot of people just can't like manage to flip the narrative that like this is what men receive from women on a constant basis. Like, men are typically really, really, really well supported by their wife, who does like an infinity of menial tasks at home so that he literally doesn't even have to use his brain. But God forbid a woman is in a similar setup where she's like, yeah, I don't know, like, he just does everything. He does most things around the house. People are like, what's wrong with him? Like, poor baby. Like, yeah, God forbid the internet sees a woman receiving princess treatment. It's like, you don't deserve this, is basically the implication. Another thing we really hate, but men especially, is like women criminals. Women that unalive or mutilate men, which there's been very few cases of that. Meanwhile, we literally have men like cutting their wife up and putting her in a fucking blender. A blender. We have women on a daily basis being unalived in like unimaginable, horrifying, truly haunting ways every single day. And it's really just like a oops, like, yeah, you know, it's a statistic. Really unfortunate. But God forbid, you know, a woman commits some horrible crime against a man, or like unalives or mutilates him. It's like, we will know her name for years to come. The public outrage is going to be absolutely off the charts. And I'm sure this isn't the last one, but it's the last one that I can think of. But we also have just a general societal disdain for successful women who find success, especially in like unconventional ways, or somehow manage to build a career on the back of like being unlikable or controversial or whatever. We really hate that. Meanwhile, there's like hundreds of men that literally have public platforms, personas, careers off of being a public menace, like being generally unlikable. And that's something that we women are just not allowed to do by society. Like, if you're an unlikable woman, your 15 minutes of fame is going to be like people relentlessly bullying you until you become irrelevant. These women, these unlikable women, even when they do have a platform, it's always teetering. Just something about a woman being successful really triggers society on a deep level, and everybody just ends up rooting for them to fail. Anyways, just something I've been thinking about. Stay safe out there, ladies. Godspeed. Mwah.